Her thin hoodie was soaked through, sneakers squishing with every step, but she clutched the insulated bag like it held treasure, because to her, it did. This delivery meant $5 more. $5 more meant she could pay the electric bill on time and maybe even buy her little brother that $3 box of crayons he'd been asking about for weeks. At 21, Emily had become the adult in the house long before she should have. With her mother gone and her father having walked out years before, she balanced college classes, 2 part-time jobs, and caring for her 7-year-old brother, Noah. Every meal counted. Every dollar mattered. Tonight's delivery was different. The app said, "Client prefers no contact. Leave at door." But the address was strange and old, nearly abandoned building in the quiet edge of the city. Not the kind of place you'd expect a high-tipping customer. Still, the order had come with a generous $20 tip up front. That was enough to make her curious. Enough to make her ignore the unease pricking at her skin. She climbed the narrow stairs, lights flickering overhead, and reached the door. As instructed, she knocked twice, then turned to leave. But before she could take a full step, the door creaked open. "Wait," a low voice said. She turned. Standing in the doorway was a man in his mid-30s, unshaven, hair tousled, wearing a plain black hoodie and sweatpants. He looked exhausted, like sleep had become a stranger to him. His eyes, though tired, were sharp, curious, searching. "You walked here in this storm?" he asked. Emily nodded. "Bus was late. Had to make the delivery on time." He stared at her for a moment, then quietly said, "Come in for a second. Just to dry off." She hesitated. Rules were clear. Never enter a customer's home. But something in his tone, genuine concern, not entitlement, made her pause. "I'm okay, really," she said. "You're shivering." He disappeared into the apartment. She stood awkwardly at the door, unsure. Then he returned, holding a clean towel, a cup of tea, and a strange kind of gentleness in his eyes. "Just 5 minutes," he said. That night, they talked. Not much, just little things. About the storm, about deliveries, about the stress of being young and trying to hold the world together with fraying threads. She didn't even ask his name. Over the next few weeks, the same man kept ordering food. Always late at night. Always asking for her if possible. Each time, he'd tip generously, offer a few kind words, and ask about her brother. Slowly, the conversations grew. Emily learned he used to work in tech. Said he'd left that world behind. She figured he was just some ex-exec with burnout, trying to live quietly. Until one night, everything changed. Emily arrived to find police cars surrounding the building. Her heart dropped. Was he in trouble? She asked around and was told the building had been bought out. New ownership. Tenants being moved or rehoused. Her client had left no forwarding address. She thought it was over. But 3 days later, a black car pulled up outside her tiny apartment. Out stepped a sharply dressed man in a navy coat and polished shoes. He looked familiar, until she realized it was him. The quiet guy in the hoodie. He wasn't just some ex-tech worker. He was Daniel Grayson, billionaire CEO of one of the largest tech firms in North America. Forbes had named him one of the youngest visionaries of the decade. A genius who disappeared from the public eye 2 years ago after a scandal involving a failed merger and rumors of betrayal from close friends. Emily just stood there, stunned. He smiled, awkwardly, like he was still the same guy she met in the rain. "I didn't mean to deceive you," he said. "I just needed to remember what real life felt like. I needed to be around someone who treated me like a person, not a headline." Emily didn't know what to say. Then he handed her an envelope. Inside was a scholarship offer for her full tuition. Another for a grant to help care for Noah. And another, a job offer for a paid internship at one of his nonprofit foundations. "But why?" she asked, voice cracking. He looked at her and said, "Because you reminded me of the world outside my own. Of kindness without expectation. You didn't need to care, but you did. You kept showing up, even when no one was watching. That saved me more than you'll ever know." Tears slipped down her cheeks. For the first time in a long time, she felt seen, not just as a girl delivering food in the rain, but as someone who mattered.